What's up, everybody? How we doing today? Let's see. It's Steve Park who always comments like 5 hours before the stream starts. Good morning. And I don't know. I don't brew one cup. I brew a pot of coffee today, which is black, and I put cream in it. So I have to buy new cream because of all the electrical work over the last bunch of days. I'm afraid to drink what I got in my fridge. What's going on? Let's see who else is saying hi. We got Matt. What's up, Eddie? What's up, Hip Priest? Ryan. Nick Rudeau. Hey, Nick, how are those albums you got from me? Chris. Hey, Ben. Man, people, can you... I don't want to yell at people today, but I will if I feel like it, if I want to. Hold on. Getting a text. All right. Someone's not getting the correct link. Hold on. Copy. Boom. There you go. Link is for you. Hold on. It's face melting, isn't it? Sorry, dude. You were banned. No one cares about your anger towards me. I don't even read the comment anymore. I ban it and I don't see it. I just see that through the side of my vision that your stupid ass made up name popped up. I sent the wrong link. Well, here's another one. Okay, I'll try and send the right link.
Good morning.
Hold on, I have to get things straight. What's going on? What do you think of idiots, Jim?
Oh, I don't know. I love them. I love them. I'm a member.
Hey, it's already being marketed or advertised, but in August here in Los Angeles, there's going to be potentially, hopefully, a big giant record show.
Oh yeah,
it's the guy. If anyone has watched, this guy did a show in Philadelphia last year that several people raved about. Billy from Billy's Record Salon, Joe, who comes on the Jazz Bums, went there. I forget who else went there, but hopefully it'll be the same. Hopefully he will attract record dealers from all over the US of A and other places. So I'll put a link out for it. I think there's a link that already exists, right?
I think so. Yeah, it should be a good show. Let's see here.
I don't know this place downtown that they're doing it at. Have you ever been there?
Nope.
I just know it won't be cool parking. It won't be a good parking situation for this thing. Hello?
What?
Anyone? Anybody?
Oh, I know why I can't find it.
I'm going to find it.
Found it.
I'm going to find it. I sent the link to people. Here it is. It's called Vinyl Con.
Yeah, man.
I'll put it in the chat. There you go. Here's Norman.
Bill. There's Bill.
Oh, what's up, Bill? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Morning.
All right. You're at Bill's place?
Yeah, Vancouver.
Look at this view.
Has he broken anything, Bill? Charge him fully if you have.
Good guess.
Look at that view.
Nice.
Nice. What body of water is that?
It's called the Indian Arm.
So you're in another country?
I'm an expat now.
He's in Canada.
Yes.
All the wine and all the American wine and all the American scotch and booze is all are pulled from the shelves or blanketed over by Canadian because of all the bullshit yo-yo effects.
All right.
But
You're
your
getting it out of your
dollar
system.
goes $1.35 up here.
Nice.
So everything is basically a third cheaper for you guys.
Well,
All right,
can't beat that.
I posted the link in the chat for the vinyl con.
Yes.
Oh, and speaking of cons, here's Harry.
Yeah. So
they let me out. I got out on early parole.
We're meeting at Neptune around 4 if anyone's around. We might do another store. What's that area?
The party was like, how was the party?
It was good. It was nice. They had a band that kind of a bunch of different musicians playing around and did kind of a bluesy Booker T and the MGs vibe, but good, really good. There was a lot of people there. It was like a theater, the Fox something theater. I think it used to be a
cabaret now.
Used to be a porn theater back in the 80s, like every other little urban theater.
But it's been retrofitted to be more of a
music venue.
Yeah, music venue, social space. Lots of bands rent it out and then charge tickets.
Was Nardward there?
No. I think it's too many people. I think it's one of those too crowded situations for him. It wasn't, he wasn't there.
How long did the party go on for?
I don't know. It started at 7. We left around 10:15.
Probably midnight. I had no idea how big Nardwar has gotten because he used to just be a local guy who was, way out there.
Yesterday, just interviewed the guy, the Liberal Party's prime minister nominated guy.
Hey, Mazzy might be in the know on this.
Hello, everybody.
No, there's none tomorrow. None tomorroh.
Well,
unless it's something that was added or just recently.
They haven't announced the that other Rhino reserve. They haven't announced.
Did you give the Canadian border their card?
Yes, and
tell us about it.
And yes,
hold on, Richard James, who is someone who does not deliver any useful information. Are you making this up, Richard James?
Yeah, there's no. I mean, if there's an announcement tomorrow, it was just a last minute thing. I haven't heard.
Yeah, and here's the deal: why would Rhino, who's heavily invested in Record Store Day, why would they make an announcement to take away from Record Store Day?
They're not going to make an announcement the day before Record Store Day, and we would have heard Westman have a stream planned, that a recording for tomorrow. He would have already posted the things. Nothing's happening tomorrow.
The only announcement Westman has is he's going to interview Billy Vera. Billy Vera?
That's a big one. Sorry, Steve. I like you, Steve. But
the most interesting thing about him for me is he was in Buckaroo Banzai.
Right. He was the bald guy in Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah, that's kind of a weird one to, it's kind of, like never mind.
I mean, unless he's reissuing that album with that song that they never stopped playing in
his one hit.
Yeah. Well, he had another. I think he had a hit in the 70s. Am I wrong about that?
Billy and the Beaters?
No, before that, I thought he might have. Plus, I think he did a lot of commercial voiceovers. I think.
So I have an interesting Billy Vera story. When I first started Record Collector News, I was very excited.
Put him on the cover next month, Jim.
Billy Vera?
Yes.
So let me give you my Billy Vera imitation. I'm at the Orange County. I'm at the Pasadena Record Show, Pasadena Swap Meet, and I just started Record Collector News, and I was very excited about it. And Billy Vera used to go to Pasadena every month. He's, seen there all the time. And I walked up to him. I was very excited. And I said, Mr. Vera, can I give you a copy of my paper, Mr. Vera? And he gave me this.
Wow.
Turned around
this is a Billy Vera bashing episode. I can't believe it.
Hey,
Billy Vera. He just shook his head like
Well,
That's
at least
the
he
next
shook his
Rhino
head
high
to you.
five.
When I
Billy
saw
Vera
Dylan,
and
he didn't
Liam
even
and
He just
Peter.
wanted to
acknowledge.
scrape me off the bottom of his shoe.
Everyone has D level celebrity stories. I have one that involves a guy wanting to throw his gum away.
Can I answer Rich's question about what a swap meet is? When you
Okay.
go, there's a big bowl, and you put your car keys in it,
Oh,
and then whichever one you pull, you go home with their records.
Mhm.
no.
Banned. You can't get a word in edgewise around here.
Is
fucktard.
Rich a swap meet is like a boot sale, car boot sale, or a
No, a swap. They're all the same. Swap meet. By the way,
Flea
guys
market.
trying really hard this morning.
Troll
A
alert.
swap meet, a flea market, they're all the same.
Bazaar.
I can't believe
An Arnie
you're a man
Bazaar.
of the world, Rich. I can't believe you've never heard the term swap meet before.
They
In
used
fact,
to do them at drive-in movies in
yeah.
our area.
Swap meet to me is a more used term than boot sale.
That's because Americans don't know what a car boot is. We think it's the thing that they put on your tire and lock it when you don't pay your
We
traffic.
still call it a trunk
Right.
Yeah, it's a trunk.
because they used to
I mean,
put literally trunks on the back of cars.
Harry, you're an ignoramus.
I'm
Can
old
I ask
enough.
you a question? What is
Sure,
a boot?
Rob.
If I said to you, tell me what a boot is.
Well, it's a
Tim doesn't
record
get it.
where somebody went into a concert and recorded it.
No. I
secretly and
mean,
then
a boot.
pressed it to vinyl.
A boot is a type of footwear, right?
No, a boot is
No,
what
it
they
depends.
say in
In
Canada.
Canada, it's a boot.
It's a boot. It's a
No,
boot.
That's
a
right.
boot.
What's this
Yeah,
story
sounds-
boot?
A boot is a type of footwear. Wouldn't it
A
make
boot
more
is what I'm going to put up your ass, Rob.
so,
Beauty way to go, eh? Boot.
wouldn't it make more sense to call the tires a boot? Or is it the boot because that's where your spare tire is? That seems more.
That's beauty, eh?
Yeah, I never understood boot for a trunk.
And a shopping trolley. Are you giving rides to people? So
Well, this is like one boring morning. Is today Friday or Thursday?
Thursday, Wednesday, isn't it?
No,
I
Thursday.
read the review of the Yoko Ono stuff in the New York Times this morning.
Which Yoko Ono stuff? The book?
There's a couple of books out, I guess.
I bought the book. The book is written by David Sheff, who did that last Playboy interview with John and Yoko that came out right around the time he killed.
So what's the review, Jim? What's
Not so good. Doesn't really
They
give
didn't
us
like
anything new. The
I mean-
book doesn't tell us anything new. We
Well,
know
yeah, I
we
mean-
got enough John and
Okay,
Yoko.
that's okay. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm going to call your shit. You're an editor of a newspaper, publisher.
No. I'm telling you what the review said.
I know, but when we say nothing, we already know. There's no such we. People know either a lot about Yoko or they know nothing about Yoko. So if you know a lot,
or
there's nothing
like
new.
most people, they don't give a shit about Yoko.
Well,
I like
could
her
be true,
quote
too.
that,
Right.
that
But
when she
People that
first
don't know anything are in the latter category.
that's like I never assume that someone watching a video I make knows everything. So I might tell the story again. Some people get pissed off. You already told us that story, but I'm not assume that someone watched every video and heard it before.
And that's why your videos really will have sort of plateaued.
That they have, yes.
Just
So
kidding,
hold
just
on.
kidding.
Marcus has a question for Harry and Mazzy.
I've just seen the trailers for it, which
I
I will
heard-
be going to see it, but not at IMAX.
I tell you, the sound of Lennon's voice is really beefy and really meaty on the 4 tracks on the EP. Really good. And
And
I'm not
this was all released a while ago, right?
no, it comes out tomorrow, Record Store Day. I mean,
No, but the music was
Saturday.
already released.
well,
wasn't
there's
it?
been versions of this. There's sometime in New York City, not some. Well, the that New York Live album that came out posthumously with it in the 80s, 86, whenever it came out, I forgot. But now, again, like everything else, they reworked the tapes because there's an afternoon and an evening show they recorded that they made the film on. And I don't remember. One of them apparently is better than the other, and they really worked it. And because I don't like Elephant's Memory Band,
And they're
But
going to be
what it
releasing
is, I
both
mean,
shows on vinyl,
I'm
like
sorry.
in November. Both concerts will be released on vinyl, like sometime around November, I think.
Well, apparently there's there's going to be like a 9 CD. I don't know what the vinyl component is, box set, and I think it's going to kind of do the one-on-one and the Sometime in New York. It's going to do basically John and Yoko, New York City, 1972, all the political stuff.
Mm.
Hey, can I clear something up for Joel? No, not familiar. Don't know anything about it. Never heard about it. You, Jim?
No.
Oh,
Where? No.
I don't know any of that. You must be talking about something from the 60s or something.
The 60s? I was here then.
You weren't paying attention to anything.
I was
you
greater
never
than that. Yes, I
you never-
was. I was going to Lovin's at the merry-go-round at Griffith Park.
Hey, so Mazzy, when are you headed back to the home?
Well, tomorrow. I'll probably leave here at 10 or 11 in the morning.
All right.
I don't know.
So have you figured out your plans for Record Store Day?
Well, Kimbo and Joey and I are meeting at Silver Platters, but it depends. Kimbo wants to meet at 2 a.m. I don't think I can make 2 a.m.
It
I'm
depends
going to
if you
get to
can
my
find
store
some-
at 10 a.m.
Where are you going,
I'm
Harry?
just going in Puyallup to Atomic Genius Records.
And, hey, Bill, are you
so-
participating? No.
So we usually go to Silver Platters, and we sometimes take a break at the big Starbucks headquarters and have a breakfast because it's a big, nice space with a fireplace, and then we're gonna probably head over to Royal Records at Queen Anne because they always seem to
there.
have a lot of stuff now. Yeah, it's the guys that used to work at Everyday Music in Capitol Hill, and they opened it a couple years ago. It's a nice little store, and they usually get a lot of stuff, and it's not that crowded compared to other stores. So
I think what I'm going to do is I haven't set my plans. I think I'm going to saunter.
you always saunter.
This is
So I think
something
I'm
that
gonna-
they said in the 60s.
I'm going to saunter. I think I'm going to start off at Record Safari, which does not participate in Record Store Day, but they're going to have a massive drop of records and everything's 25% off. Then I'm going to go where the wind takes me.
Okay. First of all, my voice is gone because we were sitting on this table last night and the music was loud, and you had to raise your voice to talk to people. Bill Codville he was always in the Peanut Gallery on Rachel's stream, or a lot, not always.
Yeah, almost always.
When we had the thing when Rachel and Sue came to my place and Rob was there, that's where I met Bill. He was there because he met Rachel, and those guys went. Where'd you go down to Tacoma?
Well, we had breakfast with Rob.
Yeah.
Remember
Yes.
that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember it well.
And then
so
he came here and turned my stereo
That's
up
right.
and blew my
That's right, we went
speakers.
to your house.
He came to the party
Yeah.
there, and
And
I'm in
I knocked
this is Bill's family house. He grew up with his sisters, and his father passed last year.
Yeah, that's right.
And now him and his sisters are getting the house together to sell. But it's literally right on this cove, and it's the most friggin' amazing view you can imagine.
It was great in the 70s.
Yeah, it's an old house, but it's amazing. I mean, the view is amazing. It's 30 minutes out of downtown, I'd say.
Yeah, it's
Vancouver.
called Deep Cove.
Deep Cove.
North Vancouver.
North Vancouver. There we go.
Nice. Jeez,
So
we might be moving this. Get the fuck
And
out
we
of this
we did talk to Rachel and Sue yesterday, the day before, and they decided not to come to Vancouver for this event. And I think Rachel's just taking care of her health. She's just
Well, she started her channel up again now. She's known as
she's done that. She's got a Patreon, but
I knew that was going to happen.
living a healthier lifestyle. So more power to them both, actually.
Yeah, and I hope they do well with their new channel because it's fun when you're out there every day with not doing it privately with Patreon.
Yeah.
You get more, it's just more fun.
I think she's going to do it every couple of weeks or something.
Yeah.
But I don't
Good.
know.
I hope it's
She's going to
successful.
do a combo of Patreon and then what she calls surfacing and just doing live streams.
It's Ghost 2 if you want to subscribe to it. Ghost 2.
Ghost II, not number 2, but II.
Hey,
Roman
I
numeral.
I picked up some records yesterday. I would like to show them. And then
No, really?
you're not going to like any of the records I showed, Harry.
No doubt.
So I can write them off on my taxes. I have
Here,
to
I'm going to pick up a bunch of records. There, I just picked
Yeah,
up a bunch of
you
records.
know, it's funny when I show records, the criticism I get for the way I show them and talk about them. Hey, I found an OG copy of this Bobby Hutcherson record now.
I love that album.
No, you don't. You don't even know who else plays on it. Harry, I think this was your copy. Your real name's Ethan, right?
That was my buddy Ethan. I remember.
Wow.
But this is one of his best records, but it's really good. He's got Harold Land and Kenny Barron and Stanley Cowell, Joe Chambers. It's a good record. I have a reissue from the 2000s, but this I think was recorded in California, so it's not RVG rich. But it came out. I don't know how many records originally came out with this transition.
I don't think I've ever seen that version of that label.
That label was only used in 1970. So everything they put out in 1970, I think it's after
It
United.
like it would be an Imperial record or
United Artists.
United Artists, yeah.
This is one of the changes they made, is to use that label, and then people got outraged and they switched back.
Outraged.
I think this is a record that Jazz Bum Chris shows because he loves Phil Woods. But this is a trio: Phil Woods, Tommy Flanagan, and Red Mitchell, and it's on Enja. And
Another
I think
good record.
everything on Enja is digital. So Enja, and they sound really good, Enja records. So, all right. I found another copy of the Sun Ra record, Pictures of Infinity on Black Lion. And this is
How many records do you think he put out?
Well, Dave, who comes on the Jazz Bums, owns 90. He says 250. Wow. He says 250 records.
Holy shit.
But with the deal where they're putting out newfound live recordings of records, he's still got stuff coming out, but he says like 250.
See, King Gizzard got nothing on him.
No. I found a copy of this Albert Eiler, his last album, after, he turned up dead in the Hudson River. But,
now, there's a story. Tell us about that.
He was nutty. He went nutty. He went missing, and they found his body in the Hudson River.
Wow.
I mean, he was a tortured soul.
That's what jazz will do to you.
It is. Well, so I like Frank Lowe is a free jazz guy, avant-garde. I've never heard of this. Right. So I've talked about this Forced Exposure, which is out of Massachusetts. They sell records online. I didn't know they put out their own label. This is from 1992. This album was put out. It's solo sax record. So it's not. I don't think it's so easy to find this record. So interesting.
Now, where do you find these? Were these like estate sales or
no? From all the record stores I go to. I think. This I like Jackie Byard Quartet Live. This is an original. Came out as a Blue Trident. Joe Farrell, Volume 1. That's a good find. You don't see this record really at all. This was a kick-ass record. I found Dollar Brand on Enja, African Space Program, which is a kick-ass name for a record. And this probably has one of the best lineups I've ever seen on a record. Just all these people. And this is truly like free jazz. Cecil McBee, Sonny Fortune.
Kind of funny that free jazz is on Dollar Brand.
That was the name he used out of South Africa. He was a pianist, and he.
So Rob, do you already know these albums, or are you just experimenting?
Well, no, I know the artists, but I don't know. I didn't know of this album. It's a fucking discovery for me. But I know all these artists on here. I mean, I picked them up because I knew who the artists were.
Okay.
I didn't know these specific albums. Okay, so this is an album I found. I didn't know. I knew jack shit about this. Christian Shara Quintet. I think this is the only thing they did. This original versions of this album are thousands of dollars. This was a reissue put out in 2015 with an extra album, and it's modal kind of post pop jazz. I think the record company, it was an RCA release in, I think, Finland. This is Finland Jazz in the 60s. Put out on RCA, but I think this is the company. Fitterisberg is the one who reissued this. And I haven't listened to the vinyl, but I streamed it, and it is quite good. It is very good. But this is really, I think the guy, this is his only lead record. But, I mean, if anyone's in Finland or around areas and you find this is $1,000, $1,500 for this record. Even this one, this reissue goes for, I found it cheap, but it's like an $80, $90 record right now. So this is very good. That's what I found in the last couple of days.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Now, most of those you're going to keep, or you're just going to check them out? And
no, I think actually all of them I'm going to keep. All of them.
Good.
I'm pretty much going to keep all of them. So. I'm going to keep that, Rich. Why can't I have nice things, Rich? For now, I'm going to listen to it and keep it. But I'll tell you what, next auction I do will probably be the best auction I've ever done. Like every record I have in there will be a desirable record. I've amassed, right now I'm looking at 300 records. I'm going to try and put together 150 out of those. Crazy good records.
Are you still working? I mean, a real job?
Yes. I mean, listen, I don't make I only make enough off of records to pay for more records. I could not live off of one.
I know you just seem to have an awful lot of free time.
Well, I don't. Explain to me how it seems like I have a lot of free time. This was interesting to me, the perception.
Because you don't work during the day. You work evenings.
Well, no, I do. Okay, so let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. I stream mostly from 7 to 9 a.m. What would you be doing at 7 to 9 a.m.? My job that I do to pay for my life and health insurance and all that good stuff, I can do it. I can do 70 or 80% of it remotely. So I do it when I'm not streaming. And then when I teach in person, that's when I go in to spend 3 or 4 hours with a class instructing them. So there you go. It's not a traditional 9-to-5 job. There you go. But I mean, I do all the streaming. I collect and auction records to help spread the love of vinyl, and then for me to accumulate more vinyl.
And yet you still have time to work at the food bank and
yes, I donate my time. I
donate
blood. I donate blood, not my blood. I don't.
I tried to donate blood last week, and man, all the questions, it was ridiculous. Like, whose is it? Where'd you get it? Why is it in a bucket? You know.
Are these the little clips you give in between the horrible songs you play?
Yeah. Oh, big news in my world. No more open mic on Sunday nights at Captain Jack's. I don't know what we're going to do.
What
happened?
The owner, they want more money because the host gets paid. You know, the people that bring in the equipment, set it up, they get paid. They wanted $50 more a week, and she didn't want to give it to him. So they said, okay, then we'll find someplace else. He's been doing open mic there for 12 years.
Is there another place you think they can find in the area?
Yeah, not like that. That was a perfect spot, but we'll see what happens.
Wow.
I mean,
and the place was dead. Sunday night, someone posted a picture of it. There was like nobody in there. So they're going to find out that they brought in a lot of business.
So someone I've met who watches the stream, and then I've met them in person a couple of years ago. Harry's a very nice guy. I ran into him at a record store yesterday. He discovered this Alice Coltrane bootleg live in Berkeley Community Theater. So,
is there a lot of jazz bootlegs, by the way?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Just as much as any.
That's one of Rachel's friends. Hey, Pat.
Kevin.
Piper, yeah, no,
No, Pat's radio.
Oh,
Yeah, this guy. Why don't you rewind
Yeah.
the stream and
Oh,
watch
that's
it?
right. Rob knows Pat. No,
So,
Pat. Rachel and Sue stayed in Nanaimo.
yes. They didn't want to catch what Mazzy has. But yeah, that
So,
was
Manzi, what'd they say at the border when you gave him the sympathy card? Did he laugh?
they said, "Do I have any alcohol or guns in the trunk?" Seriously.
Yeah.
And Mazzy said, "Not in this car."
Just that
Oh,
bucket of
well,
blood.
They said, "What are you going for?" I said, "I'm going for a birthday party." "Are you bringing a gift?" I said, "Yes." "What are you bringing?" I said, "Records." "Thank you." That was it.
Now, Mazzy, so you're going out. You haven't bought any records since you've been there?
I haven't been to a record store yet. I don't.
We're gonna do that today.
Today we're meeting up with about 4 guys, 5, whoever wants. We're gonna probably meet around 1 at this
Commercial drive.
commercial drive, but at 4 o'clock we're going to Rob. So ultimately, anybody listening, 4 o'clock at Neptune Records, 4-ish, you know.
That's the biggest record store in Vancouver, right?
Well,
No, but what Rob did is he was the first guy to open a used record store after all the big box stores went into bankruptcy. So he went completely against the grain and started something way before the curve of record collecting started up again.
he's more of a community, like Easy Street's
Yeah.
a community, you
Yeah.
know. There's other stores, there are other good stores
Yeah.
too.
And he made it, and it worked, and now he's sort of like the most iconic store, but there are bigger stores now for sure.
And he owns a building, so that helps, you know.
Yeah.
The only in 17 years of record collector news,
Yeah.
the only way I've figured out, the only way to make money in the record business is in the real estate business. You got to
Probably.
own the building.
But that's the
Yeah.
truth
Yeah,
in
I agree
everything.
with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
If you own the space for any business,
Yeah.
that lowers your cost of operation.
Yeah. And he's just really chill. He's not an excitable guy, and people pick up on that vibe, and it's a real comfortable environment to shop in.
You know, Pat, I've heard that. I haven't heard that tape. I talked to him a little bit about it last night because Beatle people know the music, know the tape. And back in the 80s, there was someone who had a copy. So this is a one-off supposedly that Rob has. There was another one. Apparently, there's a bunch. I'm sure they did a bunch of one-offs copies of the original.
Hey, Bobby.
Because a guy who owned a fanzine in the 80s put out a series of colored vinyl 45s of all the tracks with picture sleeves called Decagon. And they were boots, but gray mark. But that's the first time we actually heard all the demos. And those are from a copy tape back in the 80s. So I doubt this is the same copy tape that's been traveling around the States back then. So there were several. So we've heard it, and there's been a bootleg of it, a really good bootleg. You have the bootleg, don't you, Harry, of the Decca?
I've got several different.
You have the one with the nice cover. Can you grab
Frank
it?
says it was Joe Pope from Strawberry Fields
That's it,
Forever.
Joe Pope. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. But those were that was a copy tape, one off. So I don't need to hear. I mean, it would be nice to hear it in a studio, but Rob doesn't have that kind of tape player at his record store, and I'm not going. I mean, I don't even know where the studio is that his friend has, so I won't hear it. I'd like to, if he has it, I'd like to do a video with him
Yeah, it would be
holding
cool
it
to see it.
if he has it there. So I don't know if he's going to have it at the store.
Well, you could just go get a tape and write the Beatles on it, and people will think it's it.
Bobby,
Well-
if I could only do that with knowledge that is helpful to me, it'd be nice.
Actually, Harry has vials of each Beatles human waste. Hey, Harry, what are you planning to pick up for Record Store Day? Do you have a list or no?
Well, obviously, I'm going to get all the Beatle related stuff, except I'm not getting All Things Must Pass Zoetrope. I think that's ridiculous. I'm not going to buy it.
What are,
And then
what are
I'm
the
gonna
other
get
buy it,
Madonna,
so it's
so
ridiculous.
I'm
I'm gonna
hoping
buy
that our
it.
store gets
Ridiculous and it
Madonna.
won't last.
what are the other Beatles stuff that's available?
There's the 1-to-1 concert.
Yeah.
There's a
I'm getting the
Harrison
Springsteen and
back.
the Killer. I think it's the
A
Killers.
Harrison back EP. They both cover the
Yeah.
same, but they do the
Yeah.
same song. Be Here Now.
Otherwise,
Middle
there's not a
one.
lot there that I'm looking for.
The Warren
I-
G box, because Learning to
I-
Flinch has never been on vinyl.
I have like 3 records I definitely want to get, but I will not be disappointed if I can't find them.
Yeah, Rich, I had no
Right.
martinis last night. I literally had 2 glasses of wine last night. That was it.
Yes,
But
but
I
they
was
were late.
yelling over the
Someone
crowd.
put something in them.
I did cancel my pre-order on the Springsteen box set, though.
Why?
I'm not going to pay that much money for it. It's ridiculous. I'll wait. I'm going to see. Everybody in the Springsteen world that we've been chatting with says they think the price is going to come down pretty quick. We'll see.
Well, not related, but sort of. Is I was watching Ingroove's latest new release video, which was very short because it's Record Store Day weekend. He said that they're getting from Kraft the Thelonious Monk Brilliant Corners one step that they did, or whatever they call it, because they had a lot of extras. That was like 2 or 3 ones they did ago that they're just not selling, so they're making them available to record stores to sell.
That was the record that I sold at the Whatnot auction that the guy said he built. He paid $1,100 for. He wanted to cancel it. He actually came up to 140.
Now it's going to come down in value because they're dropping them on.
I don't
record.
care. I just don't like it.
The ones that I'm looking for is the Strata East reissue of the Pharoah Sanders record, which I have a version of it. The other one is there's a Nathan Davis Happy Girl reissue, and there is a third one.
I'm actually considering selling my Bill Evans box set of 45 RPM jazz records now.
Actually, since they announced the other ones, I think when I
you
collect,
can still buy it for 900. I would sell it less, but
I think
they're putting out Kraft is little by little putting out the 33s too this time.
Hey, Maz, do you
Hmm.
remember when you and I were berated by Chad? And Chad
Absolutely,
said to me,
I was there.
Right, and Chad said to me, "If you don't like it waxed, go find originals." Which, after he said that, about 2 weeks later, I found 2 originals.
Yeah,
nice.
But now Kraft's really putting out all of them. I think after June.
That's not all of them yet, but that's what, 6 of them or 8 of them or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are all 4 of them are already out. So
Has anybody actually seen Bill Evans live?
I did.
You did?
Twice.
Wow.
Once with Tony Bennett and once
And
but I might pick up the live Bill Evans record.
It was in the 70s.
If I see the live Bill Evans record, I will grab that. The other live albums that Mazzy got and Jazz Bum, I'll wait. I don't see me playing them multiple times. And then they're available for streaming. They're going to drop streaming and CD. So that's it. I just want to go out and participate. I'll shoot video. I'll put a video out Saturday night, maybe, of what I accumulate. I'll probably meet up with Vinyl Piper. He plans to go to a bunch of different places, but I'm going to go with the flow.
I'd like just to give a shout out to Todd. What's Todd's channel, Mazzy?
I was going to say the long cut. It's not the long cut. I always forget to shot Todd.
But anyway, he's done 2 videos now on the Springsteen box set, and both of them are very good. He knows his
He
shit.
got like 13,000 watching that first one. 13,000 views.
If you're a Bruce fan, I recommend watching.
Todd is the archivist boyfriend.
He got a pre-issue of it.
No, but he's just talking about the eras that these records were recorded.
A deep dive into the music of that.
Now
period.
these are demos of songs that have been released, or
no, these are complete albums that he benched, and then there's one album that's outtakes.
So what era are these albums from?
Like 95, different eras.
It goes back to the 80s, 79.
They're not E Street Band albums. They're solo Bruce
Right.
Springsteen.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
79 to around 85. No, to about 95.
95.
How much of it is just him
We
being
don't
like
know.
Jack Kerouac or whatever he does with that kind of
We
shit?
don't know. I mean, some of the songs have been released on bootlegs over the year. I mean, maybe a song here and there, some of them, but for the most part, it's stuff we've never heard. Let me, Ivan, I'll look and see. I'll post it here for you.
What kind of cereal is that?
Okay, I'm going to put it on mute. It's granola.
Oh, Bill, I'm sorry. Mazzy's going to destroy your toilet later today.
You go there all the time.
It's 70-year-old pipe.
That's right.
Plumbing, I assume.
That's right.
Let's take a moment of silence for Bill's toilet, everyone.
Lots of mixtapes.
Pipes are choking. The pipes are choking. What movie was that? The pipes are choking.
It's just Jim having a little seizure.
That's a movie.
Okay, I just put the link up there for anybody that wants it.
Hey, Bobby, I love Canada. This is a great place. Everyone is so nice. And what's great about it, they don't blame us normal Americans. Seriously, they're so sweet. They're so polite.
What do you have like a flag tattooed on your forehead? How do they know you're an American?
Canada has been working
a bunch of people
for 200 years.
You know,
undermined.
Here's the funny thing. When I was doing business in Australia, people never assumed I was an American. They thought I was a Canadian, if anything. That's what
a lot of Americans, when they go overseas now, they're putting Canadian patches on their backpacks so people won't think they're Americans.
Who's talking bad, not good?
No one.
Pieces of Vinyl.
What is that album?
Bad, not good is a Canadian sort of jazzy band.
Enough. My favorite yogurt is Siggin.
Really good. Really good band.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, and just so you know, guys, there was a social media campaign up here to be nice to Americans who are traveling in Canada. Because
how can you tell? How can you even tell?
Because they're normally rude, very rude and boorish, and
because we appreciate your
other than that, obviously,
and we're neighbors, right?
There's some more
and
bad.
It just got a little contentious.
Well, they showed on the news there was a hockey game where the Americans were cheering when the Canadian anthem was played.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because the reality of the situation is, like, economically, Canada is the mouse, United States is the elephant. And so if they beat up on us, we get freaking hammered.
Well, guys, here, Bill, I have a question for you.
I woke up hammered from last night. So
now we can spot Canadians when they say a boot.
Yeah.
So what trigger word do Americans say that you can spot them?
Well, it's the like it like up and down the West Coast, I would say it's impossible to differentiate.
Yeah.
But certainly Boston, Texas, Florida, and there's a thing that's in the States that is not in Canada, and that's when they say, "How y'all doing?" or something like that. All y'all or something. That's a thing that didn't cross the border.
We're also a lot ruder than the Canadians.
No, I've never. Most Americans are very warm and hospitable,
but we're snarky, or we're kind of.
Well, hold on. Even when Bill met me, I was not abrasive and screaming in his face.
Sure,
no, it's good. We had a good breakfast.
Actually, Bill was like one of the nicest people I've met.
You know the saying, "All y'all." How all y'all doing?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't exist in Canada.
I don't think,
that's Texas there.
I'm sort of from the South. I don't think I've ever said you all. I don't never said that.
I hear it all the time when I'm down there. My son lives in California, so I do go down. And so that is something I constantly hear. And we're known for saying A. Isn't that a good idea? A?
Yeah.
And so Americans don't say that. And we don't do the y'all thing up here.
So
Yeah,
here's the American.
Atlanta. There's a lot of Jews in Atlanta, and they say, "Y'all going to shul for sukkahs?"
That's it.
This is the American wine section at the liquor barn kind of place. They have plastic over the American. You have the Argentina, the Italian.
So they're stocked with American products, but they're hiding them behind a tarp.
They're hiding the big
They're
thing,
hiding
like
them.
liquor. They took all the American scotch
And
or whiskey,
bourbon and
like
all that stuff.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see China say, great, give us those tariffs. You know what? We're not even going to ship to you, period. We're cutting in the United States off. They get nothing from China.
Based on that,
lasts.
$1,000 iPhone will cost $3,500 if they're made in America.
Actually, they said way more than that.
Get your iPhones.
I'm not deleting it from my phone. It's my travel thing.
Unfortunately, China's where it's happening.
Evidently, in
China
bars,
is the
they're
top
crushing
dog
it.
right now.
China is, things have shifted, and
Absolutely.
it's time for Asia to rise again, man. Have their
What we did is we said we'd rather have profit than jobs. So we're going to send everything overseas and we're going to shut down manufacturing. And it's our own fault. So I have no sympathy for anybody suffering right now. Fuck them. You voted for this piece of shit. You live with this shit. That's the way I look at it.
I mean,
that's all I'm going to say.
You know what? I don't disagree with anything you're saying, Harry, and I don't want to be. I want to keep firm on my not talking politics because it's just. I want people to have a break from.
Yeah, I totally get it.
But if you're thinking that you're going to listen to mono on a stereo cartridge.
Well, but here's the deal, okay? With all of that, let's pretend we can live in a world where this works. How long will it take, and how much money will it take to bring any kind of manufacturing back?
Decades.
Okay, Harry, you want to put an extension on your house. What do you have to do that? You have to go through rigmarole with the county, the city, and all that. And it takes a long while. This stuff is never even remotely going to happen overnight.
Yep.
And let's pretend that this idiot gets to be president forever, right? He's not going to escape what we all are destined to happen to us, is to be non-existent on this planet.
I got to going to the shit.
Yeah, there you go. The cops are. You should go run and hide the chickens there, Jim.
Well, there's a lot of people don't want to do a lot of the job.
I think the pig has its own phone.
Common sense is something that I believe everyone should have, but it's amazing to me they do not. Thank you.
I'm not giving up, Ivan. I just think at my age, nothing really is going to affect me really bad. It's the younger generation, and if they don't get off their ass and do something, then they get what they deserve. Well, that's just the way I look at it.
That's why, to me, the selfish people, like I want the better place for my son. That's why I believe in green energy and things like that.
Yeah,
it's going to take. I'm not saying get rid of all the oil cars, get rid of all the oil-based stuff.
Here's where I disagree with using that phrase. Your son's 33 years old. He's a man. He doesn't need you to fix the world. He can do it himself.
Well, he is. I mean,
I want a better place for my son. How old's your son? 65.
If he ever has grandchildren, for everybody. I'm not selfish like that. I
remember.
Here's the one thing I dislike when people talk about shit is making these grandiose statements. I want a better world for my children.
I have 5 kids. Fuck them. I tell them they should buy lottery tickets. Maybe one of them will hit. Other than that,
I hang around with Jim a lot. The dude isn't worried about a better world for his kids. How old's your oldest kid, Jim?
My oldest last weekend turned 50.
Yeah. Now do you want to leave a better world for that 50-year-old person?
She is getting ready to retire from teaching, history at and she's been a teacher for 30 years. I've got whatever. My father came here from Vineyardrec, Winnipeg, Canada.
He came from
After,
Winnipeg.
huh?
He came from Winnipeg.
Yeah,
Oh, my father's family did too.
yeah. He was on.
You're related.
Maybe.
My grandfather was a shoemaker on Selkirk Avenue.
Hey,
They lived behind the.
Jim,
I
how old
want
is Jim?
shoes
How
one.
old is your dad? How old is your dad?
My father turned 100 in January.
All right.
Wow.
Does your dad ever say he wants to leave a better world for you?
No. He says, well, it hurts here sometimes. And he says, I'm hungry.
It hurts when I do this.
Hey,
Yeah.
so
Don't do that.
there's a sort of lame connection between me and Jim. My mom's maiden name
Oh, yeah.
is the same as Jim's last name. I said to his father, "Hey, I'm half what Jim's last name is," and his dad went, "Huh." He didn't care.
Yeah.
well,
I
if your
am
dad
80
is
years
alive
old.
at 100. That's awesome.
Not only is he alive, but he lives alone, drives, goes to Costco.
That's amazing.
Does he have a record collection?
He has he has a Yasala Rosenblatt record. That's the famous Jewish cantor. And he still has Gigi, Oklahoma.
Oh.
Show tunes.
You know what I need, Gigi? I need the Gigi Pink Floyd cover.
There you go.
I still don't have that one.
But my father came here and he went to UCLA for $50 a year.
Huh.
Bought a house for, $8,000.
Yeah.
So what motivated him to move to California from Winnipeg?
Well, he's the
Sunshine.
youngest of 8, and his oldest brother came here before World War II. I don't know why, but they had newsstands. I had an uncle that had a newsstand downtown. There's a kind of a famous newsstand in Hollywood called World Book and News. That was owned by my relatives. Oh, I know what happened. We had a relative that was running booze to the Americans.
Oh, that's right, because there was prohibition in the States, but not in Canada.
Yeah. So
Right.
we had a relative that was running booze to the Americans,
Right.
and he got kicked out of Canada, and he
Right.
went to LA. And he was the richest guy.
Dude, put your phone on vibrate, man.
He was the richest Kaplan. And so eventually they all came here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the States
when
went prohibition, and a Canadian family got super rich because they were able to capture the market.
Yeah.
The Bronfman family.
Oh, that guy screwed up America good.
Yeah.
So after they all came here.
Yeah,
that
and then
dude
he ended up buying.
MCA,
That's
University.
right.
That dude had so much money.
He got out of booze. He got into media streaming. content.
He bought Universal.
He bought
He had so
Universal.
much money. He bought Universal.
That's right.
He horribly ran Universal.
Yeah, he
Really?
that up pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, when my grandfather came here from Russia, he was actually born in. Came here from Winnipeg. He was born in Russia. He came here and he didn't speak English. He couldn't speak English, and he wanted to be an American citizen. So my father took him and he appeared before a judge, and the judge was going to ask him. I guess they have questions back then. This is in the 50s. My grandfather didn't understand a word of what the judge was saying, and my grandfather he just stood in front of the judge and he went, George Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and he named off all the presidents in a row.
Oh.
The judge looked at my father and said, I couldn't do that if you asked me, and made my grandfather a citizen.
That's cool.
That's what it was like back then. Today, he might be in a camp.
No, it's easier to become American. Hey,
no, not anymore.
So getting back to Brofman, as I recall, and people can correct me, this is just from memory. He bought Universal, and then I think he sold off the studio division and kept the music division for himself.
I think
so.
You're right.
I actually think the reason we're in the state we're in with the music industry is directly related to how horribly Brofman ran the music division.
I don't think he had a background in media, but he wanted to diversify or get out of liquor and get into I guess.
Right. I think
content,
he
right?
sold the studio division. This is is it in the 90s? Is that
90s.
Yeah,
It was
could
in
have
the
been.
90s.
Yeah,
It has not. Yeah, it's nothing to do with streaming and
no,
those
no, no. So what he did
downloading.
is
Yeah.
it wasn't going well, so he had to sell off parts.
right.
So he sold the studio off. I forget who bought it from him.
Yeah,
Was it the Japanese? No, they owned it before him.
That's
It's
Sony.
something like that.
They bought Columbia.
No. MCA, Panasonic owned Universal for a period of time.
Yeah.
So the Japanese owned Universal, and I think he bought it from them. But then he spun off the music division,
that's
when then he horribly ran that, and I think that kind of resulted in the state of the music industry, and it didn't, recover from how horribly he ran that. That's my recollection. I don't know if
I think you're right. It was a big story up here because they had been sort of an iconic liquor family for decades.
Didn't he allow his son to run?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
I think he
And
let
it was
his
one of those
son
things
run
where
it.
the grandfather was the astute business person, and he just happened to be
He
born
was a
into the right
stupid rich
family.
kid. He was a
Yeah.
stupid rich kid.
Yeah.
Rob, you
There
should
you
get
go.
one of those hats that says liquor in the front, poker in the rear.
I have all those in the boot of my car.
Boot.
Make
Listen,
America
when you get a
lick
boot,
again.
Yeah, that
I grew up in a house where they said a boot when I was little. It's true.
Okay, we're coming.
well, I
full
mean,
circle.
my grandfather came from Poland when he was 2. That's my
Well,
only.
once-
That's how
once,
far. I think
By
the rest of
himself?
the family were like.
Did he
first
have
or
like
second
10 cents in his pocket?
He was 2 years old.
My
So I think every other part of my family or second or
If
first.
anyone's into CDs, Quadios are the next 4 Quadios are being announced tomorrow from Rhino. That is what's being announced from Rhino tomorrow.
a Quadio. Is that? Did you say Quadio?
Yeah.
Quadios.
CD,
They're from
channel.
the quad mixes of records or CDs.
I ordered a Chicago Quadio CD once from Rhino back when they first came out. I ordered 1 CD. They sent me 1 case of that CD.
Wow.
So you only paid for the CD?
I only paid for 1. And I tell you, those Quadio CDs were going up in value. I was getting $50-$60 a piece or more when they first started selling.
How many
them.
come in a case?
I think there was 12 or maybe 20. Can't remember now.
Just gonna go check on Sarah.
Yeah. Anyway, there's 4 Quadios coming out. One of them is really surprises me. I can't say what they are yet, but
Of what?
I can't say what it is. But
No,
whatever came out
I
back
didn't
then,
hear-
Doobie Brothers.
yeah, well, they do like 4 every 2 months or 3 months.
Wait a second.
I think there
What
was
did you say that is
Floyd
coming
or,
out? I didn't
Black
hear that.
Sabbath.
Well, 4 are coming out. I can't say what they
4
are.
of
but
what, Mazzy? 4 of what?
Quadios. I've been talking about Quadios, CD quad mixes.
No one cares about them.
Actually, people do care. This audience doesn't.
There's 178 people watching. How many of you care about Quadios?
This is not the audience for it, but I'm just stating. But one of them is a really interesting choice, and I'd like to hear it. I don't have
What's
a quad
the
set.
choice?
I can't say what it is.
What's her name? I can't tell you.
It was a Warner Brothers record that came out of an artist that I think they only put 2 or 3 records out on Warner Brothers in the early 70s.
Well,
And it's-
Mazzy's celebrating, letting us know what all the titles are.
Yes.
Hey, dude, I've never seen you show 1 fucking CD. Never. It never happened.
No, but a lot of people are into, the people who are into vinyl. Excuse me.
Now, one time I
Well,
ordered from the In Groove. I ordered the Crosby, Stills and Nash deluxe edition. It was like $110 record, and the In Groove sent me 2 of them by mistake. So I called them, and Angel answered the phone. I said, "Is Mike there?" And she said, "What's this about?" I said, "Well, I ordered a record and they sent me 2 of them." And she goes, "Just a minute." And bam, he was on the phone like, "Yeah, what happened?" I said, "I ordered a $100 record. You sent me 2 of them." He says, "I'm going to send you a label to return it. Thank you." Somebody I know, I'm going to take care of them. Rhino, I don't give a fuck.
It's not Claudio, Bobby. It's Quadio, Quad, Quad.
Isn't Quadio the lead singer of Cohib and Kiambra?
And Vinyl Piper, yes. The Whatnot was so much easier. I packed records in 90 minutes instead of a full day.
Anyone ever heard of Independent Project Records?
No,
I don't
No.
know it.
What is that?
They put out some really killer CDs. The size is off. Packaging is incredible. I have about 10 of their CDs and a couple of their records. Here's, it's just weird stuff. Tape excavation. I mean, here. Who's this? I don't even know who this is. But
Jim, do you still have a copy of your first issue of Record Collector News?
I think I have a copy of the first one. I don't have a copy of every Record Collector News. I don't have all 111 issues, but I lost some of them.
Who was on the cover of the first issue?
Okay, so there used to be a publication called Record Convention News.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was done by a guy by the name of Jim Philbrook. And Jim Philbrook passed away. And for 5 years, nobody did Record Convention News. I walked into a record store one day and the guy said, "Why don't you start Record Convention News back up again?" I said, "What the fuck are you talking about? I'd never heard of it, never seen it." And so he talked me into it. And so the more I dug in, I learned about Jim Philbrook, the founder of Record Convention News. So that was my first cover story, was a story about Jim Philbrook, the kind of guy who did this. And he did it for like 13 years. I never once picked it up. It was weird.
Hold on 1 second. I want to start in with someone. This is not true. Okay, go on with your stupid story, please.
Well,
So
anyway, so my first issue was Jim
Harry's
Philbrook.
question: who was on the cover of that issue?
Jim Philbrook. Now my second was, Janis Joplin. But my third cover was the man himself.
Must be Zappa.
It was Bernie Grundman.
Bernie.
So Bernie Grundman was on my third cover.
Wow.
Did he send you a stock photo or did you take a picture of him?
I think he sent me a stock photo.
Have you ever thought of having Chad Cassom on the cover?
I would love to talk to Chad, but
Harry, he's
Chad,
the Wizard of Vinyl.
Yeah, I'd talk to Chad. Sure, why not? Chad's all, that would make a lot of sense.
You should get someone to do an AI interview with Chad discussing the boxes.
Maybe
it's just that when Chad looks at me, he's one of those guys. He looks over your shoulder.
Jim, why don't you schedule an interview and I'll interview him?
Under a disguise, the mask interviewer.
I'll wear. Hey, remember, Take the Money and Run. Woody Allen's parents had the phony nose
Jim,
and glasses.
Can I be the stand-in? When you prepare the cover with Chad, can I be the stand-in model? Here's my impression of what he looks like on the cover.
Yeah, there you go. No, Chad would be a great interview, honestly. So would
he's done it all. They interviewed him on 60 Minutes or whatever, CBS, whatever.
Nobody watches that shit.
Hey,
it's a great story, guys. Don't you
Hold
think?
on. Yeah, this link is not true.
Bottom to top. Yeah. It's a great story.
Yeah. So you think Selena sucks rhino butt? Now Chad used to do these annual get-togethers in Salina there, where he had a recording studio and a church that he converted and all this shit.
Yes. Hey, Rich is asking a question. Actually, I forgot to mention this when I showed this record earlier. Let me find where's Rich's comment. So he's asking if this is mono or stereo. I didn't know there were two different. In fact, the mono goes for more than the stereo. But check this out. And I've gotten several covers like this. So it doesn't say stereo on here, right? Except right there. So I've had
Yeah, well,
covers
this
like
flick
that where
didn't get pasted over. That's all.
they pasted over. So I don't know if they did this with the intention of they did it to make mono covers, but on the label, that it says stereo right there. So it's stereo. But that I've gotten covers like this before. That's kind of interesting, right?
M45 would make a nice cover, I think.
Yeah, can I pose? Can I be the stand-in?
Yeah. I wanted to do a Mazzy cover, but we just could not come, he wanted too much
Yeah,
money.
so many freaking demands.
I didn't want too much money. I wanted money.
He wanted to do his own makeup, and you said no. We have to hire a professional.
Yeah. We've got a friend in the family.
Did I show a couple of records? That'd
Yes,
be all
you
right?
can. Yes, you
Okay,
can.
so I don't have a big record collection, but one of the things I like to collect are albums that bombed originally and became iconic later.
Oh.
So I just got this one in late 2024. I don't know if you can see that.
Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson's very first album.
It's a great album.
Actually, that's a white label promo. It actually bombed. But
That's
off
my
this
favorite
album,
Christopherson record.
yeah, 5 different artists, including Johnny Cash and Janis Joplin, took songs off this record and they all became huge hits. But the actual album tanked, which I found very cool. And then, being a Canadian, this is Gordon Lightfoot's very first album. It tanked in the States. And on this album are like 4 or 5 iconic Gordon Lightfoot records.
Well, what was his first big hit?
First big hit for him
Yeah,
would have been If You Can Read My Mind.
yeah, but came out. When did that album come out? 60s.
It would have come out 5 years after this album.
Okay.
This would have come out in 66.
Yeah.
And it would have had songs on the radio in Canada, but in the States it freaking tanked. And it's got like Still Row Blues. What's the biggest song on it?
I only know
That got Sundown on it.
No,
Three-
that's 5 years later.
Later.
Early
I know
Morning
only 3 of the
Rain.
songs.
Oh, Early Morning Rain. Peter, Paul, and Mary had a hit with
Yeah,
that.
that's right. So he would have songs off this album would have been picked up by other artists and they would have been hits, but his album tanked. This one, I don't think quite what you'd call a bomb, but it didn't really sell very well initially, and now it's considered, I think, one of his best. I don't know. What do you think, Mazzy?
Yeah, that's my favorite. album.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to get a promo copy. I had to order it because you'd never find it in Canada. And then this is a little bit obscure. I don't know if you guys are into Jimmy Buffett. This is his first album in his Key West years, and it tanked, right? It probably sold like 300 copies, but it's considered one of his best now.
Is there a big song on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a good
There's
album.
the song people might know is "Why Don't We Get Drunk and Screw," but it was kind of
Yeah.
a silly comic
Yeah.
song.
Well,
But it's
my
got,
fraternity,
he
a
went
lot
to
of my
Paris.
fraternity. I'm sorry to interrupt. A lot of my fraternity brothers were Parrot heads. Those are
Yeah.
his fans.
Yeah,
And they played that song all the time, but I didn't know what album they came off of.
yeah, and so they reissued it after he got famous, but
Yeah.
originally it tanked. So if you like singer-songwriter stuff, I'd recommend that one.
I like all of his stuff.
Yeah,
I don't mind Jimmy Buffett. I like it. In fact, when I was a little kid, we all sang "Cheeseburger in Paradise" because it was
yeah. So,
I went to a Jimmy Buffett concert at the Greek Theater back in the day, and it was fantastic.
He really
Yeah, it
knows
was
how
like-
to put on a show.
It was like Grateful Dead light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah,
I saw him
He-
one
he was-
time, but it was a very good show.
He was all about everyone having a good time. That's what his
yeah.
deal
He
was.
really captured.
Now,
the
did he
spirit.
write that song, or did Commander Cody write that?
Oh,
Which
he
one?
wrote everything, but there was a song called "God's Own Drunk."
Yeah, that's a cover.
That's a cover, but actually not almost everything, but 80% of everything he released, he wrote.
Well, his big
I'm
hit was the
confusing
Van
that
Morrison.
with
What was his
Everyone's
first big
Doing It.
hit? Was the Van Morrison
No, it
song,
was
Brown Eyed Girl?
Margaritaville was a hit, a legitimate hit. He wrote that.
When did
I don't
Brown Eyed
think he
Girl?
ever. I don't remember hearing Brown Eyed Girl by him.
Yes, Brown Eyed Girl was a big hit for him.
That's
That
right.
was
A little bit later.
Really?
Yeah, that was later because I worked his records at ABC. He was
Yeah.
like one of the big ABC artists when I was there.
I-
That double
I
live
don't-
album came out.
Can someone confirm with me? Was that his first big hit, Brown Eyed Girl?
No,
No, it's definitely Margaret. Oh, actually, he wrote a song called "Come Monday."
Yeah, come
And
on.
why-
But that was around the same time, I think.
Pink
Yeah.
Crustacean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lesson to us all. I mean, he had more money than
but
almost anybody in music, but he died of skin cancer
Yeah.
from being outside in the sun. Obviously,
That's why it's not good to.
It says Jimmy Buffett's first hit and a song that helped save his life was called "Come Monday."
that's right. Yeah,
Well, how far after that did Brown Eyed Girl came out? Because it's got to be around the
maybe
same period.
10 years ish,
I don't know.
10 years.
I know Come Monday. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of hit songs.
Wow,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard him do "Brown Eyed Girl."
Okay.
Yeah, it was a hit. He did a
Okay.
cover of Van Morrison.
I have a complaint. Now for the rest of our lives.
1984.
Now for the
83.
rest of their lives, or this rest of this year, we're going to have to sit through Harry's constant dash cam videos. Jesus Christ!
I only had one.
But I know it's more.
He did a Jimmy Buffett
But
did
you
an
wrote
album called High
your-
Cumberland
you wrote
Jubilee that might have been his first.
You wrote first dash cam video, Harry. When there's
Well,
a
it's because
first,
I've never had anything happen in front of my car, and then the day after I put in a dash cam, I get like 4 deer run across in front of me.
well,
Oh.
there's Harry.
And so, Harry, how long will you be eating deer?
watch stuff for hours.
No, I stopped in time. They were young too. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they kind of stopped, turned around, and took off the other direction.
Did you just leave your camera going for an hour while you're driving? Is that it?
It's all if the car's on, the camera's on.
And where does it record to? A cloud or the phone?
It records to a
Hey,
mini
hey,
car.
Jazz
and then
Club
I
Mike,
put
how
it in
many
the
Jimmy Buffett
adapter.
records do you own?
Jimmy Buffett. I have his entire discography.
Now, there
Do you have the stuff we
part
did
of your
with
part of your
Cal
education-
Jader? Do you have the Jimmy Buffett Cal Jader
No,
records?
seriously, part of your education, Mike, was in Florida, right? You had to have been around Jimmy Buffett people then.
I'm sure I was.
Oh God, you're so cerebral. You're like Snooty to the party music of people.
But I'm not snooty.
And he's younger too.
I can say this because I'm an expat now in Canada.
I'm just jumping in. I'm not up to speed on what you guys are talking about.
We're
So
we're basically all trying to sell our Bill Evans 45 boxes now because we want to dump them, unload them.
yeah.
We're getting rid of all our Frank Sinatra albums.
I'm being
How dare
serious. I'm all for bashing Chad, but I'm being serious right now. The general consensus are these OGC's reissues are better than or not as good or if not better than the 45.
I'll sell mine to someone for
Right.
$600.
I'm going to sell mine for $500 because
Go ahead,
if everyone
four.
knows my story, it only took 2 records to pay for that box. And
Pieces of vinyl will buy it for $400.
It took 2 records I bought together for less than $20 to pay for that box when I sold them.
Harry, do you have any Bill Evans?
I got a few, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, Rocco, if you want it from me, shipped $500. That's it. That's as low as I'll go.
I have a
Also-
crap ton of Bill Evans.
And mine's in. I'll be conservative, VG plus, but it's probably in better shape than that
Oh, thank you.
because it was all
Mike,
replayed.
I'm really starting to listen to more and more Sinatra.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What
I love
any
Sinatra.
particular albums?
No, I mean I just put it on like I'll go on to my Alexa and I'll just say play Sinatra and just let
yeah.
it go.
The
Yeah.
Capitol Mono Sinatra records are fantastic. All of
Yeah.
them. They're just
Yeah.
great.
I've always been a Dean Martin fan, but I'm listening to more and more of Frank.
Dream with Dean.
Yeah, I mean I like all his stuff. I just like his voice.
Love you.
Hey, Mike, show the record that everyone should get if they want to become a Sinatra fan.
What
The
I don't
wee
have any
hours
Sinatra
or-
behind me.
Sinatra's
No.
fucking great.
I would
It's-
recommend.
It's a
So what I would
promo record.
recommend, what I think people should get, there's really a lot. It's hard to like narrow it down to a single record, but on his Capitol stuff, like Jim was saying, if you get the stuff with Nelson Riddle, so there's 4 titles with Nelson Riddle that are good. There's 2 Torch and then 2 Swing. So there's Wee Small Hours, then Sings for Only the Lonely, A Swingin' Affair, and Songs for Swingin' Lovers. Those are essential. And then there's also Live at the Sands from 1966. That's really good too. He does like
Don't Fly With Me? No?
Fly With Me is great. That's with Billy May. And then, I mean, there's so much on Capitol that is good. You really can't go wrong with this Capitol stuff. And then I like his really early stuff with Axel Stordahl on Columbia, but I feel like a lot of people won't. It'll sound too old for a lot of people.
What's the deal with Watertown? Why is that considered a rare album?
It's not rare. It's an oddball. So I forget who produced it, but it's a famous producer, and they recorded all the instrumentation separately, and Sinatra overdubbed his vocals, and he never did that. He always sung in the studio, at least up until that point. And it flopped. Nobody liked it. It didn't sell well. So that's when he was in his 50s, and I think he was just thinking it's time kind of to pass the torch, and he retired. So it was kind of like a big moment in his career because of that. But a lot of people, now look back at it and love that album. Some people who aren't into Sinatra, that's like the one album they actually like.
Was it Bob Guardio who did it?
That might be right. Yeah.
He's the guy who produced Chicago.
Four Seasons.
This
That's
was
right.
this-
Yes, it was him.
This
Oh, wait,
record
I'm
got me
wrong.
into
Never mind.
Sinatra.
I was wrong.
This got me into Sinatra.
I've got
Yeah.
that album.
It's
Yeah.
just a fun fucking record. Wives and Lovers. It's the good life, full of fun.
I like the one with
I
Joe
do-
Bean. The one with
I
Joe
do
Bean. is
Sinatra.
That album
This
cover
is a
reminds me
very
of Bobby
good
Gass and the floating head.
So yeah, I do a pretty good imitation of Frank Sinatra
Oh, here we go.
clearing a hairball.
Oh God.
It's the.
You know, I saw him.
Thank you very much.
I saw him too late. I saw him at
never
the
saw
Circle
him.
Star Theater in Redwood City, and he was singing from a teleprompter, and he was trying to sell his spaghetti sauce because it was a few years after Paul Newman was really successful with his,
Oh
and
right.
so it was kind of sad. But it was in the I'm thinking the late 70s or the 80s. I forgot now. When did he die?
He died in the 90s.
He played at the
it's like-
Flora Fair, and I didn't go.
I want to say 90,
should've
like
gone.
97, 98.
And he continued to perform.
After he was dead, yeah.
I just discovered if you go on YouTube and type in Sinatra Golden Nugget commercials, and they're these commercials he did with Steve Wynn
They're pretty
that are
good.
awesome. That are awesome.
They are pretty good.
Yeah.
I like
I have
this.
a bunch of bootleg live concert ones, and the ones later on in his career, he does. I don't really listen to them. He does not. They're interesting just to hear, but his voice is not that great on them.
If someone's trimming your tree, is it your tree or is that theirs?
But yeah, Sinatra was a fun.
Well, that's
I love him, so it was fun
Oh,
to
me
collect his
too, yeah.
records.
Best.
How's the
My
Sinatra
mother-
users group on Facebook doing?
It's good. For some reason, it's getting like a spike in membership requests. So
It's because those commercials went viral on YouTube.
is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, what's cool about Sinatra is if you get into him, like if you get obsessed with him, his recordings really span from the 78 era up until digital. So like as you kind of explore his catalog in different years and different eras, you are exploring the history of recorded music through the 20th century as well. So it's really like an education in the format as well as, the music itself. So
I like
He-
the duets thing they did where they put Bono on "I've Got You Under My Skin" with Frank. I like it. I know some people don't, but I like
I
the
didn't
way
get
it
into
was.
that.
I think, as I recall, when they did that album, he did not sing with any of them.
Right.
No, yeah.
That was all done. Yeah.
I like DJ Joel's Judy Garland comment.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Harry does a great Judy Garland, right, Harry?
What? Huh?
Did you hit her with your
Rhythm stick.
car cam?
Hey, now what is he won the Oscar for
From Here to Eternity.
Eternity, but I think people say his best performance was when he was the man with the golden arm or whatever, right? But,
yeah, I guess.
I liked his later roles where he played a hard-boiled detective.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he make 3 movies as that guy? Tony Rome.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
So
What
why
about Manchurian?
why
But he
wasn't
did-
he in The Godfather?
He did a TV movie. I think the last acting role he did was a TV movie where he was a detective.
He technically, his character was in The Godfather.
Yeah.
Yep. That's probably why he wasn't.
He was too old by then too, for that part, don't you think?
Yeah. For sure.
Angelo Kelly, when are you going to start doing your role as a hard-boiled detective? When are you going to start making movies like that?
I was going to go to see Angelo Kelly, but the show sold out.
Oh, good for him.
Good for
Everyone's
him.
Hey,
doing
I
that.
understand
Brad.
Angelo Kelly does a cover of Brown Eyed Girl.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going to make the offer publicly here. Angelo, I will give you $100 if you do a house concert for me.
I'll give you 200.
Hey,
How much of that up front?
I'll
You
give
could
you a
show
No, I'm
record
not
of
going
your
to put
the
it.
choice.
Great
I'll pay
Northwest.
him in cash. He doesn't even have to
Angelo,
come to the
I'll give
show.
you a record of your choice if you do under Harry's house concert.
Rich, Angelo already sent me like 4 autographed albums. I told him if I'd had 5, I could have gave him his own header card.
Germany and old people's homes.
Hey,
I only play an old people song. You fit right in here. $100
One
cash. The offer stands.
It's like Saturday Night Live. I thought you said 3,000. That was
I
for
thought you'd
everybody.
understand if it was 3,000 for 4 of you, that it'd be 750 for one.
Kind of chintzy, aren't you?
Yeah,
That was a great
that was
bit.
so good. That was so funny.
It was just awesome.
I want to
Just
produce a PBS special called Angelo Kelly Comes Home Again.
Wow.
Weren't John and Paul like watching Saturday Night Live
Yes.
that night?
I've heard that story.
Not when George was on, but the week they showed, he offered the check, and they were thinking of going down there, and they were just
Yeah.
they're at the Dakota.
That would have been super.
I mean, George was the only one who really appeared on the show, right?
Yeah. Paul did later, years later.
I mean, in the 80s and 90s.
George had a
Okay,
sense
here
of
we go.
humor.
I'm going to show a few Angelo Kelly records.
Okay. Brace yourself, everyone.
Wow.
And these are great records, by the way. I really, truly enjoyed them.
Nice.
And this especially, wow, what a great
Yeah,
album. If you don't
I
have
have that
Grapes
one.
by Angelo Kelly, go out and buy it.
Yeah, that's affectionately all the fans call that album the Feed album.
I have a record I could show. So Angelo Kelly sent me this. This is a jazz.
Oh, you didn't send me that one.
79.
That's not his record, though.
It's funny when he sent me it, I listened to it, but I didn't. I just revisited it recently, and I really appreciate it. And I think it's because I wasn't familiar with a lot of the players initially, but now I am. So this was really cool, and it's all like European recorded stuff. I think in Germany, and this is part of a series. And some of those records in the series are ridiculously expensive, but this was really nice. So this has made it onto my turntable recently. So thanks for sending this, Angelo.
Very
Look, it even
gracious.
comes with a little note.
with his
Yeah.
gifts. I will say.
Look,
He's a very generous
look, his
person.
little signature. I got his signature right there.
Yeah. You know, that goes for ones of dollars.
$100.
This one isn't that cheap, but there are some on the series that are really expensive because this has like.
But-
let me tell you who's on this. So
Isn't Nathan Davis on that?
I don't know if he's on this one. So there's a Pat Metheny. Oh, Stafford James, the bass player. He has a track on this. Who I didn't know when I first got this. Albert Mangelsdorf is on this. Woody Shaw's on this. So
COA.
it's really good. So anyway. Yeah, and it's a German pressing.
He's about to go on a sold out tour. When does that start, Angelo?
And
Yes,
he's doing Palia too.
We're getting ready for it. One of the two.
Pretty sure he's agreed to Palia.
Yeah, and I'll give you a record store and an address, and we'll just.
Oh no! Hey, they're having a private conversation. Let's listen in.
Yeah.
Make them big. Make them big.
Yes.
A lot of people, if they can't meet there, we'll be at Rob.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Bill is telling Mazzy he has to be out by 11.
Checkout's early.
No, I'm not checking out till tomorrow.
We're making a plan for later today.
Now,
Look at the look on Bill's face when he says he's not leaving until tomorrow.
hey, Bill.
What?
Now? If we come to Vancouver, I've been there, but what is the food that people have to have when they come to Vancouver?
Well, I mean,
I know it's
Vancouver's
seafood.
an ethnically diverse city, so
Good
obviously
Chinese food, right?
I'll bet they're great.
What is called South Asian now.
Yeah.
Any of those, you can't go wrong.
Well, you know,
I would
Bill,
say
there's
the owner-operator type places versus the chains. The chains are pretty generic everywhere, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of smaller.
A lot of sushi, a lot of
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, can you do me a favor? Take
Sure.
Mazzy to one place. My last name has been divulged here, but
Okay.
there's a chain of bagel shops. in
Yes.
Vancouver.
In Kits, I know exactly where you're
Right,
talking.
can you take Mazzy there where he's forced to take a picture in front
Yeah,
of this
we
chain?
can do that easy. Absolutely.
They specialize in the Montreal style bagel, which is okay. It's not as good as an American style bagel.
It's
What is
iconic.
that?
It's much politer though.
No, they're not boiled. American style bagels or bagels in general are boiled first and then baked. They don't boil them.
Yeah, good call. I forgot, but that is an iconic location in Kits.
Yeah, but
That's
there's several of
very
them.
doable.
So my buddy went there before I went to Vancouver and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you sell T-shirts?" And they go, because all the employees are wearing T-shirts, and they don't sell T-shirts. My buddy bought a T-shirt off the employee and got it.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
now
well,
they're
we'll do that.
making
That's on the list.
bagels
Easy.
bare-breasted.
The
Yeah.
thing about my last name is people misspell it, but
Yeah.
that chain spells it correctly.
Okay.
They spell it
Okay.
right
Good
way.
to know.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up.
But also they're in the harbor there, which for me, as someone who grew up in the East Coast, DC and Baltimore,
Yeah,
Vancouver reminds me a lot of Baltimore, like the inner harbor and stuff
I
like
can
that.
see that. Yeah.
So there is a place there, I forget the name. It's a sushi restaurant, but they specialize in that style of grilling the sushi, the thing, and putting it on rice. I forget what that's called. That place is freaking awesome. It's
Okay.
in the
I'll
harbor.
check it out.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of sushi.
Great.
But they grill it and then they put it on the rice. I forget what that's called.
Well, it's got what, seared salmon?
Or cooked seafood.
Or any type of sashimi style.
Yakitori. Rich says it's yakitori.
Yeah, it's a yakitori restaurant. It is awesome.
So
Isn't that Korean? More Korean?
And you know what the cool thing in the middle of the harbor there? They have a little gas station for the boats to fill up with gas.
Los Angeles, Santa Monica.
So
And Mazzy's on this.
Vancouver is an incredibly walkable city.
Yep.
You can walk
We
the
haven't
whole thing
walked
long.
Yeah, it's
Isn't there a club there called the Red Door or the Blue Door? Or
That's
Yes.
that's a strip
So
club,
you're,
Harry.
you're off. To
no,
the
there was a club there where I went to see somebody. I know. What was
Isn't there
Jason Russo's first
morning
band?
for an hour and a half.
place called
Hey,
Jumbo's Clown Room?
Rocco, I don't.
About music, but
I would imagine the best store to go to is in Falls Church. It is CD seller, and they should have every Record Store Day title. I don't know any of the other stores that participate
for
there,
him, between us, I feel like the
but that
therapist.
store should have everything.
But they have Jumbo's Clown Room there,
so these
right?
people are in the peanut gallery.
And they're
So normally I would always be peanut gallery.
Mm.
I wouldn't
internet is
recommend
very slow
Vancouver,
here in
Washington
Sun
so
Valley.
much.
Got slow internet here in Sun Valley, California. Uh-oh.
Yes.
How did it get its name, Jim?
Just the overcast weather constantly.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, you know how it got its name? It used to be Pacoima, but they didn't want to be Pacoima anymore because Pacoima was a little bit too Pacoima.
Down,
So the realtors changed it to Sun
Yeah.
Valley. The reality is that it should be Used Car Part Alley.
So here's the thing about LA, which is funny to me. It's mostly in the valley where realtors successfully change the name of areas. to
I'm
make it
sure
more
that happened
exclusive.
everywhere, but just a lot longer ago.
Like
No,
Palm
like
Beach.
what is technically, how long has Toluca Lake been around? Or has that always been?
Okay, so you know where Silver Lake is? That used to be called Mixville.
They're not-
Why? Because
Why?
all the land was owned by
Irish.
Tom Mix.
No.
He owned all that land.
Oh, I thought it was owned by the Irish.
Okay, you
No.
know what?
Not Mick.
Let's go. Oh, shit.
Sorry, Angelo.
Oh, shit.
Well, me and Jim, if anybody knows Sun Valley, there are wild peacocks all over it. And you
Well,
see them sometimes. During the day they do a good job of hiding. But me and Jim were driving and two gigantic ones ran out right in front of us.
See, that's why you got to have a dash cam.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Did
Can
you
you hear
guys-
the roosters? I got fucking roosters right.
Did you guys see all those great jazz albums that Noble Records found?
But I do listen to them.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, some amazing Blue
They're,
Notes
they're,
stuff.
they're no good to look at them because when he sells them, they're on Whatnot and they go for a
No,
billion.
he says those he only sells in stores,
That's good.
local.
No.
Elliot, I don't think Record Store Day will affect the Sunday show.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No,
Where's their Sunday show?
somewhere
Elliot.
where Elliot lives.
In North Carolina.
Elliot, it's the next day. Record Store Day's on Saturday. But I would imagine that people save up their dough to go out on Record Store Day.
You don't hear that rooster?
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
down here.
Jose, I'm not selling records to you either. So there you go.
Why won't he sell records to you, Jose?
He doesn't do mail orders. He does whatnots or certain things he'll say only in store for locals. You can buy from whatnot also.
It's not. Are you talking, Mazzy? I wish he wouldn't have private conversations during the live.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Mazzy, are you talking about the Voice of America collection he found?
Well, maybe he got more, but he went back and found amazing.
Yeah, I
other
mean,
stuff.
the guy promised him exclusivity to what was
Well,
the
he
remainder.
just brought literally what's that record that psychedelic record with the yellow cover that the Jackpot Records put out last year, Record Store Day, or a year and a half ago. He has an original capital of that, you know.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. He said he would have to do a lot of trips to retrieve.
Well, maybe it is a Voice of
Well,
America.
so the story for this latest one, Rob, is the guy who bought the collection kept all of the top-notch stuff, right? He wanted
right.
So that guy called him up and said, "I want to sell it all. I want to do something. Like I'm going to do another investment."
No, I know all of that story.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to pull a Rob right now. Jose, grow up, okay? You don't have to like whatnot. it's easier for a seller, and a lot of people like buying because it's easy. They see the timing,
Oh.
they're not delayed. There are certain things that are easier.
Can I say this on behalf of Mazzy? Mazzy's a whatnot apologist.
What I
Hey,
mean,
there's nothing
why-
wrong. Listen, here's the deal, and I hate
it
this.
took me 90 minutes to pack
No,
instead of a day.
Mazzy, you sell on whatnot. It's your choice to do it.
Right.
It's also the choice of the people to spend the money to acquire the records that people sell on whatnot.
Absolutely.
I have never bought a record off of whatnot. It's not my thing.
Okay.
I don't even think whatnot's enjoyable to watch.
But Rob,
Because
that's
it's
like
too
saying,
fast.
I'm going to ride my horse. You can drive those fancy new machines.
You know, whatnot
it's
is
the future.
No, it isn't.
It's
Whatnot,
the future.
Rob, whatnot is as good or as bad as the host.
No,
like YouTube.
no. Well, okay.
I mean, I can sit
Whatnot-
and talk like I do on YouTube on whatnot
let
if
me
I choose
separate
to.
it. Okay, it's people's choice to acquire records however they want to acquire them. That is a second thing to me. As an entertainment vehicle, I don't find whatnot would probably work for me. It's too
No,
fast.
that's fine.
It's too fast.
Actually, it might or might not. But you're right.
It
YouTube
doesn't
is
have
not an
to be
auction
fast,
site.
though. You can
We've
time
made
it
it an-
however you want.
YouTube is not an auction site. With the Coleman collection, I started doing auctions on it because of my channel, because of my audience. That's the only reason. But it's not, as we know, it's not an auction site. There are
I mean, there might be a day where I do a whatnot. I don't see. For right
you don't
now,
have
it's
to.
not for
But
me.
you don't have to. That's
No.
the thing. There's room for
I
everything.
did a
No,
few
and
of them. It's so
I'm not
easy, though.
complaining. I'm not complaining about whatnot. Good for them, whoever uses it. I have no problem with whatnot. It's just not for me, both as a vehicle to sell records or a
You
place
know,
to be entertained.
my experience having done both now, it seems to be once you get to know the platform, it's easier for the buyer and seller. That's it. Now you do pay a cut, but that's why you do. You know, that's how they make their
No,
money.
well, here's the deal. I'm not going to mention names, but someone mentioned to me that someone was selling last night on there, and they were not getting rid of records.
You
Here's
have to have
deal.
the audience like YouTube.
Hold
gotta have
on.
enough eyes on
Let me finish my thought. And Mazzy, you definitely can have something to add to it, I think. Matt, the trouble with whatnot is people that go, hey, I'd like to sell on whatnot and just go up and try. Well, their problem is they have no following.
Right.
How many tries do they need on whatnot to gain any foothold? How many records does it take for them to sell or not
Let me
sell?
answer that to you. If
Yeah.
all of a sudden Bill tomorrow started a YouTube channel and tried to sell records, he doesn't have an audience yet. So it
Yeah,
took you.
Bill, you should end that. Don't do it. I don't know what conversations
No,
you're
I'm not
having.
gonna do it.
No, but
I
Rob,
did
it
whatnot.
It took you time to build your audience to be able to sell.
I didn't
you
have
know what?
enough viewers to make it worthwhile.
Right.
The
Well,
stuff was selling at open bids or not selling. But the good thing about whatnot is you can put your previews up. You can make it as detailed as you want. You can put them up a week in advance or more, and people go through and they look and then they add it to their favorites.
It comes down to, Rob is absolutely right, and you're right. It comes down to building an audience. I had over 200 people watching it because of my YouTube channel. That's the only, and me promoting it for a week. But a lot of people, I go in the vinyl section, I see there's 7 people watching an auction.
Yeah.
So they're not, you have to
Those
build
are the
your
ones
audience.
you want to buy on.
Yeah, you have to build your audience. It's like YouTube. People come up on YouTube and they do videos, and if they don't get traction after a month or two, they get all frustrated and they quit because you have to.
Yeah,
like
but
the
Mazzy,
Jazz
that
Bums.
goes okay.
The Jazz Bums built an audience.
Well, but that goes along with what we're doing. Anything. Here's the deal with these. A main majority of the haters that we all have really comes from their inability to connect with people on YouTube. That really is it. The main ones are horrible at it.
I've got to go, so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
You're a wanker, Harry.
Okay, thank you.
See you, Harry.
Ciao.
Well, he was scared to participate in the conversation. I think that's why he left. Well, whatever. I don't think. there's probably a long list of people who haven't succeeded on Whatnot. I'm almost sure of it.
Of course, absolutely.
Because
like you,
these people don't build any kind of connection with people. I talk a lot about this. When I decided to do a YouTube channel, what I was going to talk about was secondary to my desire to do a YouTube channel, because I feel like I was a good communicator and I could offer a different point of view on something. I just so happened made the connection between collecting vinyl and doing this. But it really is that. The people who succeeded YouTube are not any different through the specific subject
it's
they
like
talk
any
about.
business. You have to build a business. You have to find an audience. You have to get customers. People, the problem today with the kids today is everybody wants it instantaneous. They want to be a star. They don't want to go tour for 3 years first.
This is where I'll put my foot down with you, Jose. Hats are good. I'm a hat person. I'm known for wearing my hat.
Who's
so screw you.
Who's complaining about hats?
Yeah, and Matt and you show your
hats while we're
silly
at it.
cats and dogs all the time.
Jose, when did you become such a wanker, Jose?
He's always been one.
Oh God. You don't, and like records today, you don't have to like records today, but we all like and have dislikes or whatever.
Hey, Angelo, let me help you out. In the US, we call that trolls.
Oh God.
What'd I miss?
It's just
Rich is asking what I think about Whatnot auctions. I think it makes total sense for you to use it, Mazzy. I feel like you can cultivate an audience. You have a great. Are you selling your records or is it?
Yeah, these are my records. Okay, here's the deal. I was going to sell. I listed 30. I ended up getting through 25, I think, or 26. Okay, everything I showed sold, but there were 2 cancellations. I got excused. The baby touched the thing and overbid, whatever, and I just canceled those. I didn't fight it. Like, I don't care. It'll be next time. So I sold everything.
Here's a good question for you, Mazzy.
Yeah.
What's your end game for this? Because there's going to be a point where you're not selling your whole collection.
No.
How many
to be honest with
you?
I don't have an end game. I'm living in the moment. I'm a free spirit. There you go. No. Thank you. We got a broomie here.
Wait, there's someone controlling from behind the scenes at Bill's house.
Okay. That's Sarah, a real woman.
Hello.
From
a very tired looking woman, originally from Birmingham.
Oh, a very nice looking woman too, might I say.
Well, thank you so much.
She came last night. She's Bill's friend, and she came last night to the party last night. So we put a tent up in the backyard.
I'm sorry that Bill's exposing you to all this idiocy.
But yeah, I don't have an end game. I have a lot of doubles and triples at this point in my life. I don't need anymore. So I could put them on Discogs. I can trade them into record stores. We all know what that's like and that routine's like. And I found that I tried it out just to see if I liked it. And so far, as I said, my experience, all the postage, everything is pre-done for you. So it took me 90 minutes to pack up the records instead of a day in the other auctions. And I actually made more. I mean, because
people get caught up in the bidding and
whatever. If they do, they do. But I'm not telling them how much to bid on it. But I have a lot of doubles and things. I really don't need 3 copies of a Rolling Stones, whatever anymore. Things like that, So I'm little by little going through.
Well, no, I understand this, but off the top of your head, how much percentage-wise do you think you could decrease your collection? You have.
I have about 7,000 or 8,000 albums.
Okay,
I know.
And
what the fuck? And it's insane. I could probably get rid of.
Not even who in the VC or in our social circle here has the most amount of albums. Is it Harry? Is it? Dr. Robert
Doc
has a
about
shitload
13,000.
of
Dr. Rocker has like 10 or 12,000 or something.
I think
yeah.
he has 13, 14.
Okay,
Anyway.
yeah, he's got a lot.
You know what I could see, Mazzy? No one is more technologically incompetent than Dr. Robert. I could see you having him on
Yes,
with you to get
but
rid of him.
here,
He
so,
definitely wants to sell his record.
so I definitely over time, and I'm not doing it. I don't know how regularly I'm going to do it. Over time, I could sell 1,000 of my records or more. Plus, I have other things. Like I have literally 15 boxes of every magazine from 1964 on with the Beatles on the cover. And like, do I need that stuff anymore? They're kind of cool, but I could sell them for 10, 20, 30, some are worth nothing and some are worth, I could have in the, not the vinyl section of Whatnot, I could sell those to, Beatle kids or collectors or old people, whatever. So there's different segments of Whatnot. It just makes it an easier buying and selling experience. Yes, Rob and I have the benefit doing the YouTube when I did Coleman and Dizzy's collection. We have the benefit of an audience, so we could do Patrick. But a lot of people don't. I built up all these people who watch our videos. You have 100 to 200 people watching your auctions every week, right, Rob?
Is Swedish eBay like regular eBay, or is everything coated in chocolate?
Yeah. Swedish eBay. Anyway,
Jim, can you do us a favor and oil that door?
Yeah. Someone said, "What about your Penthouse collection?" I don't have Penthouse. I don't have any like those. Yeah, but you're right. People could sell those. There's you see that crap on eBay all the time.
There's someone in San Francisco who sells record collector news for $10 each. I don't even on my website used to be able to
buy them. Do people pay?
Yeah, he sells more at 10 than I was selling at 5.
See, that's a good example that all those Beatle magazines, I could sell them for $10. They're
he's not selling
them in my garage.
Yeah.
What am I going to get? My son doesn't want them at some point when I'm going.
Christopher, you're not denying that Swedish eBay is covered in something, though.
I have all those Fillmore Avalon handbills I could sell at some point if I want.
Those are probably worth dough.
Yeah, some are worth hundreds. Some are worth $30.
Okay, before you do all that, will you marry me?
No, I would.
If we combine our collections,
it's not a dating app.
Jim,
we got Hawthorne. We got Hawthorne by the balls.
Let's pretend you were serious, Jim, with that request. I think you just want to be big of me, so you're big at something.
Yeah.
Well,
the woman I did the video with, Amy's like in her early 30s. She has 2 kids. She left her public library job and now does 3 to 4 Whatnot auctions a week selling a record. She makes a living at it. She made it her business. And I believe she met her boyfriend through the Whatnot app, who also sells records. So in a way, it became
there's Whatnot love connections.
Wow.
Exactly.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off.
Now, are they virtual?
Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it.
Well, I think I don't know. They meet up.
By the way, Mike doesn't do a good job of advertising himself. He did a video live stream yesterday where he went over the new OJC reissues. So go watch that video.
Okay.
Very good.
I mean, the thing is, these are options. It's not a thing to argue about with Wax and I at all. It's just an option.
How do you meet someone on Whatnot? That's my question.
Well, first of all, the person selling like this, I'm on camera. She's on camera. The other guy.
So virtually they met, or
did the guy go? Hey, can you show your feet, please?
I don't want to get into details because it's not me but I mean, she doesn't hide it, but they both were sellers and they met up in person a few times. I mean, I think they're hanging out in Phoenix. They met Mike at the In-Groove in Phoenix a couple weeks ago.
You know what? You know how they do? It sounds suspiciously like a Lifetime movie. The Whatnot murders. I can see that happening.
They didn't meet on my app. On my
get the screenplay.
I am not
right now. 2 people meet on Whatnot. One of them no longer exists.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All we need to do is expand on that.
Somehow. What kind of like Sherlock Holmes-esque?
Yeah.
Jose.
All right. Well, Jose started this whole conversation. Because Jose, you're just down on.
Murders?
Jose's just down on everything.
That's his deal.
Jose reminds me of the first time. Jose's energy reminds me of the first time I ever had sex, which was terrifying because I was all alone.
That is so old. That's like an old dad humor.
Thank you, Rodney.
Hey, hold on. What's the nice lady's name again?
Isn't kind of true though? Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
Ooh, I
Bill,
was so scared.
what's her nice lady friend's name again?
Sarah. We can
Sarah?
use her name. Okay.
Please don't laugh at Jim. I spend a lot of time with him.
Sarah.
He has 5 jokes. He repeats them endlessly. He has 9 stories and 5 jokes.
9 stories and 5 jokes.
See, all the guys are blushing now because there's a woman in the room. So
Yeah, it's in the telling.
yeah, this is what I mean. It could be worse. It could be a gaming platform. You know,
That's true.
Video game. Of course, my son and his girlfriend are both kind of.
You mean your son that you want to make the world a better place for? Who's a
I
grown man?
I do want to make a better place for him if I can. You know,
He's a grown man. He can do it himself.
he's working on it. He's working.
Angelo, I have a lot going for me, actually, not just the pig. I have a duck. This morning.
You've got a 100-year-old father. That's freaking unreal.
Yeah, and he's still rocking. We're going to lunch today.
Does he own his house?
He lives in an apartment in the marina.
What, in Marina Del Rey? Where?
Yeah, he lives at the Marina. Yeah, he lives at the Marina City Club. Swims every morning.
Good for him, man.
Does he swim or
Every morning.
float?
He's from Winnipeg.
Not the Dead
I
Sea.
tell you,
Right. I've been to the Dead Sea.
Baby Drek.
What does your dad call you when he calls? And sometimes Jim will put him on speaker. What does he call you? Hey, Jimmy.
I don't. He used to call me a park.
So he's an old Jewish.
Park is a man
dad.
with scabs on his head. That's not good. You
Okay.
park. He calls me Jamesel sometimes.
Hey, Jim.
Is anybody going to Denboss this weekend?
Actually, his dad does the thing all parents do. Hey, Jim, it's your dad. Who else is it going to be?
Right.
Is anybody going to Denboss this weekend?
Is that this weekend? Cool.
Yes, it-
Michael 45 is.
Yes.
You know, let's send someone there on a one-way ticket.
No, it's what is it? Just outside of Amsterdam? Is it
You
near
know-
Rotterdam?
Here, there's another big thing happening this weekend. Do you know what it is, Mazzy?
Record Store Day.
No, one other thing.
It's matzah time.
Expona, that big audio show.
Oh,
that's
Expona
right.
in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Oh, I
Isn't-
thought you were talking about
When's
Passover.
Passover and Easter's coming up, right?
Yeah, it's true religious things. But
Yeah, no, Expona's this weekend.
Passover. I don't know. Right. Exactly. I mean,
Now-
it's kind of a weird. Well, Expona. Okay.
but
Expona's good.
yeah, but here's the
Expona's-
problem with this. Rocco, to bash your comments endlessly. As someone who grew up in DC, the problem with the Cherry Blossom Festival is the cherry blossoms always bloom 3 weeks before. So when they have the parade, they're gone.
You know, Seattle has a beautiful one at UW at the university. There's a whole. It's a beautiful in the area with all these great blossoms, but you only have like a week and a half. No.
And Santa Clark too.
I'm going to do my Elliot Cruz impersonation. I'm the only one who does a true Elliot Cruz impersonation. So please join me for Filet of Fish Friday.
Oh God.
$5 filet of fish sandwich.
Yeah.
So
See, I'm correct. They bloomed 3 weeks ago. He was there. See, that's the problem with always. They bloom before the festival.
Global
So I got to
warming.
fill these two in. I think they're. If I shouldn't say. Well, going to San Francisco to see your.
Yeah.
So I need to give them San Francisco tips. I think it depends on.
But
what
you
they
go.
want.
But Bill, you go there when your son used to live in Sacramento, right?
No, it isn't a small town called Yuba City.
Oh yeah.
But
So
where did he
45
live?
minutes out of Sacramento.
Where did he live before that? I thought
He went to school at Case Western in Cleveland,
Okay, that's right.
and that's
Thank
where he met his wife.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's how that worked.
All right. Well,
So no one. There's more chance of people around here going to Expona. No one's. Hey, Paul, Breakfast King, are you still watching? Are you going to Expona? Or you're out of Chicago? You left already.
Anyone in the Midwest should go
Is
to
Vance?
Okay.
Do you even give a shit about Expona?
I gotta do one thing. If you're still watching, if Brian Tokyo is watching, Tokyo
Yes.
Brian, I take issue with his critique of the photographer Richard Avedon. He thought he was young when he photographed the Simon and
This will end at 9
Garfunkel.
a.m. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's got a set time.
So he said, well, Paul Simon's in focus, but the Art Garfunkel's eyes are unfocused. But there you go. Okay, Tokyo, there you're here. He's an 8x10 rack focus. You know, you're a photographer. You know, you do rack. A large format camera has a back, and you can rack the back. A lot of times, you can get one part of it in focus. It's like using a Type 45 negative, Polaroid negative, or something. And he racked the back. He does that on purpose. Richard Avedon, when he's 46 years old, photograph that's not fucking up and keeping.
Hey, Jose. It wasn't funny the first time you ever did that. It's not funny now. Okay. So why are you photo shaming Tokyo Brian?
Because I was listening when I got back yesterday. I took a little break before we went out last night and before I left, and I was watching his live stream from Tokyo, and he was talking about how Richard Avedon, he thought it was not a great photograph he did on that Bookends album cover because Artie wasn't in focus the same.
Well, I'm sorry to say
it's
this.
Intentional.
I'm not defending Mazzy Tokyo Brian, but that's an iconic cover. It is.
It is.
So I don't know what to tell you.
And it's Richard fucking Avedon who photographed the famous models with the elephants. One of the great fashion photographers. You know that movie with Fred Astaire when he's a photographer in is it Paris? That's based on Avedon. Avedon was a technical director, one of the great fashion portrait photographers ever. So,
hey, Jose,
okay, I gotta leave. I'm gonna go. We're gonna
see you chased Mazzy away. That's the only that's your claim. Jose, then don't watch. I don't watch stuff that I find like Whatnot auctions. I don't find them entertaining. Thanks, Bill, for having us. Say hi to your friend. Goodbye.
I'd like to say, see ya all, y'all.
Wow.
Y'all have some good times.
Yeah, I might emigrate.
Yes. Hey, Bill, before the end of the day, can you put a toque on Mazzy and get him?
Yeah.
Get him a crawler.
And we're gonna send you a picture from that place you mentioned.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Take care.
I don't mind if you post it. Siegel is my last name. Deal with it. It's awesome. You wish you had as good of a last name as I do. Right?
Well, it's better than Kaplan. Kaplan's a bit.
I'm half Kaplan.
It's too bad.
That's not too bad. That's my mom's maiden name. I'm 500% Jewish based on those two names.
It's like Smith. It's just common.
Yes.
Common.
Listen, if that's Chris or Mike, Mike, that's not how you spell it. I'm not a bird that flies over the ocean.
Okay, so here's something sad.
But wait, before you tell your sad story, I believe when my grandfather's family came through Ellis Island, the name was Siegelbaum. And was shortened to Siegel. So there you go.
Well, I live in Sun Valley, California. This is a segue here. And it's very we have urban wildlife here. And we got a lot of pigeons. They eat the chicken food, they get in on the chicken food and stuff. Well, this morning I woke up and I went out to go get my newspaper that I have delivered every morning. And there was a pigeon head right in front of the door, just the head kind of there. So that was how my morning started, with a pigeon head, cleaning that up. Living.
Well, that's not as good as Siegelbaum, I'm telling you right now.
Pigeon head?
So here's the deal. I still don't know what I'm doing for Record Store Day on Saturday. Here's the deal. You don't have the ability to appreciate that box, first of all. Go buy the CDs. Thank you. Hold on. Kurt has something interesting to say. Well, if Jim's involved, it's always small world.
Unbelievable. Really,
Yes.
seriously. Going that low.
No, this is the
Roach
real.
at 2. No. I'm my father and I are having lunch today, so
Where do
we're
you think
having,
you're going to go? Where do you think you're going to go?
I don't know. Probably nowhere. We're there's that place Justa. That's pretty fancy.
Did you just insult me?
Yeah. Justa.
I've never. I don't know that place. I've never been there.
It's in Venice.
Okay, so I appreciate everyone for coming. If you're going out for Record Store Day, success to you.
Yeah. Have
I'll
a great
probably
weekend.
I will show footage of. I will shoot footage, and edit some sort of video, and hopefully I will pick up stuff and let people know. I'll post a video Saturday or Sunday, and then I'll see everyone back here on Tuesday. Okay. All right, Jose.
Great weekend, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Have a good, rest of your week. Bye.